Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I was debating on what topics to touch on, and I wanted to kind of talk about what I was going through, and it also includes this book that I started reading. Since it is Mental Health Awareness Month, I decided to touch on this topic. I also got a book, which is a memoir called My Lovely Wife in the Psych Ward. And I can't really pronounce his last name, but his name is Mark Lukac. So if you guys have a library card, check this out because I'm in the middle and it's really, really good. It's basically talking about a man and his struggles with his wife who has a mental illness. Sorry about that. My son walked in. Usually every time I'm filming, a kid or some kid walks in. So if you're not familiar with my channel, we just relocated from California to Las Vegas. And so that's why I look like I'm half naked, but really I'm not. It's 90 degrees out today, and I just thought I would touch on a topic because I was watching Red Table Talk on Facebook, which is Jada Pinkett Smith's new web series. And so it's Jada Pinkett, her mother, and her daughter Willow. And they talk about subjects, topics, all kind of topics. And since it is Mental Health Awareness Month, I was watching an episode where she was talking about mental illness and stuff like that. And I also was reading a mental illness awareness book. For those of you who are kind of confused at what a mental illness is, basically a mental illness could be anything from schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, bipolar, autism. It's a lot of different things, but at first, when I first started, this is just my story. When I first started having children is when I came across my first encounter with mental illness. Now, I didn't have like baby blues or anything like that, but one of my pregnancies, I got really depressed. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to even wake up or even get out of the bed. And I think that was my last pregnancy, I believe. We had just moved to Texas. I didn't know anybody. It was very, very hard. I had four toddlers, and they were all stair-stepping, very, very, very hard. I was a stay-at-home mother, and it was lonely, and I didn't have anybody to talk to, and I was going through like panic-stricken times. So I did not realize at the time was like kind of like on the brink of depression, anxiety, and nervous breakdown. It wasn't until I came into contact with my own husband, who is bipolar manic depressive. Every time we would have a child.
Look what I did to Telly's doll's hair.
I'm sorry about that. I apologize. Like I said, like I was saying, every time we would have a child, my husband would have some sort of breakdown, some sort of anxiety. And at the time, I was thinking like, oh, you're tripping. Like, why every time we have a child, do you go through this? And it wasn't until I actually had a cubicle job and I was at my cubicle, like surfing the internet like people do when they're not working. And I started looking up mental illnesses because I was going through trying to see what was going on with my oldest son who has ADHD. And at the time, I knew something was not right. I couldn't put my finger on it. So I was looking at symptoms, and when I came across bipolar disorder, it was a couple types. Actually, they have several types. So I was shocked to see that my husband exhibited pretty much 99.9% of the symptoms of bipolar manic depression. And I told him, I said, babe, I really think you should go and talk to someone or talk to your doctor, see if there's anything you could do, if you need counseling, or, just talk to somebody. Because from what I was told and from what I had assessed, you need to be on medication, because you cannot just manage yourself and think that it's going to be okay. Like, you have to get professional help and incorporate some form of counseling. So, and I said, is this the reason why every time we would have a child, it would be like he would have a real life nervous breakdown? But anyway, back to what was going on with me. I had not experienced anxiety until I had kids. When I was by myself, at the time I wasn't working, and I had, kids of every age screaming at the top of their lungs. I never did anything where I felt like I was going to put them in harm's way, but there was times where when I got up in the morning, I didn't want to get out of bed. I was very like I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to say suicidal, because I didn't have the guts to be like, oh, I wanted to end my life. That's not what I felt. I felt like I just was exhausted, tired, overwhelmed, dealing with my husband's mental illness, dealing with my son's mental illness, dealing with toddlers, just dealing with everything. I'm not going to blame it on any specific thing, just in a whole. It was a lot. So at that time, I was dealing with anxiety that I didn't know was anxiety yet, until later on I found out it was anxiety. And the depression, I have not been clinically diagnosed with depression, but I went to school for psychology. And just based on what I've learned, I pretty much diagnosed myself like, I think I'm depressed. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to find, to figure out like, hey, you don't want to wake up in the morning. I may not be suicidal, but I'm definitely depressed. I may not be severely depressed, but depression has different stages. You can be happy in front of people. You don't have to be sad all the time. And you may not tell even the closest people to you what's going on with you, because you may think that they think that you're crazy. Or I just felt like people would think, oh, you complain too much, like, why are you complaining? But in a way, I just wanted somebody to listen, because for me, when I had that information overload and I felt anxious, I didn't know how to deal with it. The only way I dealt with my anxiety was crying. And then my husband would get frustrated with me, like, why are you crying? Like, you're not even that type of person. You're not even that type of girl to cry all the time. And I really wasn't. And that's how I knew something was really going on, because I would have crying spurts just out of the blue, and I'd be like, why am I crying? But when you have a newborn and little toddlers, and it was just a lot. So I would definitely want to talk to people who are feeling like the way I was feeling and currently feeling. If you really feel like hopelessness, even if you're feeling suicidal, try to see if you can get some kind of free counseling, because there's free counseling everywhere, every state, every city. You don't even have to pay for it. So there's no excuse for you not to check up on yourself. I'm going through a lot right now, so I feel like as a whole, I want my family to go to counseling together, but we're gonna have to have counseling like on an individual basis. I told my husband, you're gonna get your counseling, I'm gonna get mine. Our kids are gonna get theirs. Then we can have family counseling. I just feel like you need to have your own source of your outlet. Like, my husband's outlet is, he needs to take a walk if he feels overwhelmed. He plays basketball, he plays, video games, whatever. All the kids, they do things, but as far as like self-care, I do not self-care for myself. And that's a problem. That's a problem, because I could feel it like building up inside of me. When I get frustrated, I don't have to go. I can't go anywhere. I have my kids with me. my husband, you know how men are. Men, they get mad, they could walk off, they can, take off and come back whenever they want. Women can't do that. We got kids. So it's like I felt a lot of resentment towards my husband towards that time because I felt like, why do you get to walk off? I need a vacation. Like, I'm serious. Like, I need a break. But with his illness, he cannot be alone with the kids all at once because it's overwhelming to him. So if it's more than 3 kids, most likely he's gonna have a moment. So we just had to figure it out, like what is gonna work for our family. And to tell you the truth, to be honest, we still haven't figured it out. But I know that him being on medicine is what works for him. But as far as if the doctor was telling me right now, like, hey, you are clinically depressed and we want to put you on some form of medication, I don't think I'd want to be on medication because I've heard really bad horror stories about being on medicine. But I'm willing to try. I really feel like me, the type of person I am, I'm a Gemini, I'm a talkative person. I'm kind of borderline Cancer too. So I'm very emotional. So I feel like me just talking to a therapist would help me out a lot. And if I ever feel like I need medicine, then I'll tell my doctor, like, I really think I need it, but I don't feel like I need it. I don't want anything to numb my emotions because literally I feel like that's a part of being human is feeling things. And I want to feel the pain. I want to feel the sadness. I want to feel the happiness. I want to feel. I don't want to not feel because I wouldn't feel human anymore. So I'm still dealing with some hopelessness. And, we've been going through bouts of unemployment and homelessness. And, we lost our home. So that's like taking a toll on me, seeing my children without, their own rooms or without a backyard to play in. That takes a toll on me because I always feel like I could be a better parent. But I'm pretty sure everybody feels like that. But in my case, I just feel like there's something, I don't know, there's something inside of me that's, I don't want to say pessimistic, but I try to look on the bright side of things. God knows I try, but at this point in time, I don't know. But I just thought I would share what I was going through with you guys. And I also am going to do another sit down video about sexual assault because something that I hold dear to, like close to me, that I have not really talked to anybody about. Besides maybe 1 or 2 people, maybe 2 people in my family and my best friend. So I want to talk about that, but that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother video. I will get into that, but that's everything that has happened to me in my life are building blocks on the person that I am today. So it kind of makes sense, from having no father in my life to being a magnet to men that are abusive. My father wasn't abusive, but just, I don't know, you know how they say she has daddy issues. Well, I had that magnet where I would attract people that were not good for me. And my husband was not one of them, but I did kind of like go from a domestic violence abusive relationship to my husband who had his own problems, and I didn't know what they were. I didn't know how to like manifest the issue, the answers. I didn't know what was going on, and I always was blaming myself. Like, what is wrong with me? Why it's a fly in here? Why am I attracting the people that I'm attracting? And what is going on? So I'm still working on it. I'm still a work in progress. God is not done with me yet, and I just take it one day at a time. You guys just pray for me and pray for us. And I just wanted to get that off my chest because you never know what you say to somebody, you know? You never know what you could do to change someone's life, or a positive affirmation that you could tell someone to make them feel good. Now, I'm not trying to get anybody to feel sorry for me, but I just want you guys to know it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and a lot of people are dealing with mental illnesses that they don't want to talk about because they're scared. In my community, the African American community, it's very hard to talk about because everybody knows somebody that's dealing with it, but they don't want to talk about it because it's so like taboo or whatever. I don't know. People in our culture just barely started going to therapists, you know, and they don't want to. How you have a family member. Oh, that family member gets a check. We don't know why, but they do. Well, nobody wants to talk about why so and so gets a check and why so and so is like this, and when so and so went on vacation and it's really a mental institution. Like things like that. So, when you're having a baby and building a family, and people don't tell you like, hey, what's your mental illness in your family? That was something that I realized when I was pregnant with my first son. I didn't know my husband had mental illness in his family until the nurse asked me in the questionnaire. Then I thought, you know what, I have mental illness in my family too. That's something that you got to think about. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant or whatever, my little story. I will have a part 2 on the building blocks of who I am. Like, this is a part of who I am. I'm probably going to be dealing with this for the rest of my life, but it's okay. I'm just baby stepping it right now. I don't know if you guys let me know in the comment section down below what you guys do to relieve your anxiety, because I'm definitely in need of that. And let me know if you want a part 2 on the mental illness subject topic. My other topic that I'm going to do is sexual assault and surviving that. So thank you guys for clicking on my channel. If you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. No, matter of fact, smash that subscribe button. Like this video, comment, and I will read every comment, and I do reply back. So thank you guys so much, and love you guys.